Around the nation now, we're just weeks away from the Iowa caucuses, and the clock is ticking as presidential hopefuls work to make their case to voters. Former President Donald Trump is still the frontrunner, but Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is trying to close the gap. CNN's Julia Benbrook has the story.
He's trying to prove that he's the best alternative to former President Donald Trump. Trump still holds a commanding lead in the polls here in Iowa, but DeSantis has put a big emphasis on the state, and he's hoping that he sees his efforts pay off over the next few weeks. Republican presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis recently wrapped a tour of all 99 counties in Iowa and received a rare endorsement from the state's governor last month.
I believe he is the guy that can get it done.
But a new poll shows that former President Donald Trump is still the first choice for the majority of Iowa voters, with DeSantis in a distant second at 19%. We asked some of those voters what they want to see from Florida's governor.
I would like to know how he plans on winning with Trump being up, 32 points.
That same poll proved that the battle for second place is still a tight one, showing former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley polling at 16% in the state. Experts say that in order to run a successful campaign, it's important to gain momentum in Iowa.
Even if they don't beat Trump, and if they do well, they're going to be seen as a viable contender, a viable opponent.
On the trail, DeSantis is ramping up his criticism of his main competitors, taking aim at Haley, who received a big bump from major donors and is polling ahead of him in New Hampshire.
You can't have Hawkeye Haley here saying she's conservative, and then more nuanced Nikki appealing to independents and liberals in New Hampshire. That doesn't work. You got to have the same message everywhere.
And while he's been more hesitant to speak out against Trump, DeSantis is also talking about the party's frontrunner.
He's his own worst enemy by not being able to control his mouth. And that has consequences for governance and us being able to get things done.
DeSantis and Haley have just about 5 weeks to close the gap on Trump. That's when voters in Iowa cast those first ballots. In Des Moines, I'm Julia Benbrook.